Okay, let's talk the termination of easements. The termination of easements is easy. There are quite a few to remember, but the important thing is abandonment, release, merger, prescription, condemnation, changed circumstances. Okay, necessity ends, equitable, estoppel, and destruction of the servient estate. Okay, so let's talk about the first six. Abandonment. What happens? One, the easement holder intends to terminate and does an affirmative act. To abandon an easement, intent, affirmative act. To abandon, we need intent and an affirmative act to abandon an easement. So you look for what in the facts? That's right, intent and what? An affirmative act. Easy, release. Written release will terminate an easement. Does it have to be in writing? Yes, we just said that. Does it have to be signed? Yes, it must comply with the statute of frauds, meaning signed against the party, signed by the party against whom enforcement is sought. Abandonment, intent, affirmative act. Release, writing that complies with the statute of frauds. Merger, this is easy. Title to both properties is conveyed to the same owner. Prescription. How can an easement terminate by prescription? When they fail to protect their interest for the statutory period. An easement may be terminated by prescription when the holder of the easement fails to protect their interest for the statutory period. Condemnation, eminent domain, and changed circumstances. This is a substantial change that affects all benefited parcel. The reason for the easement no longer exists. This is only when the purpose of the easement can't be fulfilled anymore. Okay, so we've got ARMPC, ARMPCC, abandonment, release, merger, prescription, condemnation, and changed circumstances. ARMPCC. ARMPC, abandonment, intent, affirmative act. Release, express writing complying with what? The statute of frauds. Need that signature. Merger, title to both parties is conveyed to the same owner. That will terminate an easement. Prescription, the right holder does what? That's right, they fail to protect their interest for the statutory period. Condemnation, easy, the government's using its powers of eminent domain. And changed circumstances, a substantial change that affects all the parcels such that the reason for the restriction no longer exists. The purpose can no longer be fulfilled. The reason no longer exists. The purpose cannot be fulfilled. Okay, couple of other things. When the necessity ends, an easement by necessity ends. If an easement is created by estoppel, what is an easement created by estoppel? 1, prior permission. 2, reasonable reliance to that party's detriment. 3, it's equitable to recognize the existence of an easement. An easement by estoppel is created by 1, prior permission to use the servient estate, reasonable reliance to the party's detriment, and it is equitable to recognize the easement. Okay, an easement created by estoppel can be also terminated when the dominant estate holder, who's the dominant estate holder? It's the person with the easement that does something or says something that causes the servient landowner to believe the easement has been abandoned and the servient estate holder relies on it to his detriment. Okay, so an easement created by estoppel can be terminated equitably if it's just no longer equitable to enforce the easement, or by estoppel. Any easement can be terminated by, you know what, this sucks.